Suck my balls, cow. No! No, he has to suck my balls!
You like to suck my balls, don't deny it.
Oh, suck my balls, you ginger Jew rat hall monitor! Punk-ass stoolie, who the f*** do you think you are? Suck my balls, K-10. That's right, suck my Canadian balls! Suck my balls! No, you suck my balls! Thanks, everybody. Suck my balls! Yeah, whatever, you can suck our balls. Suck my balls, 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 suck my balls.
How would you children like to suck on my chocolate salty balls?
Oh, you mean like a chocolate candy?
No, I mean my balls.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, the views expressed by Matthew Schaffer Gage are those of him and him alone, and are not the views of Joseph Bernola, Ian Scoop Colano, or Suck My Balls podcast as a whole. Send your complaints to @Matthew_Schaffer on the Twitters.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's right. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back for another edition. Suck my balls.
Suck my balls.
Suck 'em.
Suck my balls.
Gargle 'em.
Suck my balls.
Lick 'em.
Suck my balls.
Touch 'em.
Suck my balls.
Hold 'em.
Suck my balls.
It's here.
Suck my balls.
Suck my balls. A South Park review. Of course, I am your host in the heat, and I can't be beat. I'm your guy who's high where the air is so very, very dry and hot. It's hot here, guys. Your boy, Matt Schaffer. Matthew Schaffer. Matthew_Schaffer Gage. Gage. MS to the G. You can follow me on that Twitter, Instagrammer. Matthew_Schaffer. Each and every week, I'm joined by some blokes who like to tell jokes. And they also like to smoke a little tokes. But, I ain't got to tell you any more things about that right now. Because I'm here to give him his proper introduction once more. Ladies and gentlemen, he is a doctor of loveonomics, hydrophonics, punkonomics, mathematics, and other doctorate associate things. But more importantly, ladies and gentlemen, he is your 2022 Day 1 Red Rocks Trivia Champion. He is a trivia God. Dirty Joe Vernola, welcome back to the podcast. I like that I don't have to yell, by the way, and go like, yeah, just go, God. Dirty Joe Vernola.
Right. Yeah, that was a great one to emulate there. I gotta say, everything sounds really nice on these South Park Bose QC45s.
Whoa, he's flossing today, ladies and gentlemen, as he's got his Bose QC45 official Stan Marsh, right? On the side?
Yep, they're the
Marsh.
stands. The Stan on one side, South Park 25 on the other.
South Park. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, South Park related information, of course. If you have not watched the Red Rocks concert, it's now available on Paramount Plus. We're not plugging them. We're just South Park fans, so we're just like, well, I guess we are plugging them. We're not getting paid. We support South Park. So just go watch it.
It's free advertising, yeah.
Just go watch it. And if you're from Paramount, hey, give us a call. We'd love to talk. So,
yeah, definitely. And just
I drink from my South Park cup.
And if you're from Viacom, just look through this stack of releases you have from Red Rocks. I'm probably right there. I put the podcast on there and stuff.
R for Nola.
A. Yeah.
B. C. D.
No,
E, F,
you
G?
said it's R. I'm correcting you. It's A.
I know, I wasn't really trying to give away your full information.
They're going to be able to find me on the internet anyway. There's only 3 Joe Vernolas in the country.
Whoa, ladies and gentlemen, well, there's only one episode of South Park today that involves a bunch of, well, I guess you might say minorities, just like Joe Vernola, apparently.
Oh, God. What the fuck, bro?
As we review the Ginger Kids episode on another edition of Check That Out, the South Park Review.
Oh my fucking God. What the fuck? This might be a record for how quickly we've gone off the rails.
Ginger Kids. Ladies and gentlemen, we're no.
Oh God! And it's episode 911. We're just like batting 1,000 here. Fuck.
Oh man, that was a great setup though. It was awesome. Ginger Kids from South Park. It is the 11th episode. Turn that off. Ginger Kids is the 11th episode of season 9. And it is the 136th overall episode of South Park. It is Suck My Balls number 139. We're almost halfway through the series, Joe. We'll be halfway through the series in like a year.
Right, but then they'll like have another like 12 episodes by then, unless we're counting like the streaming specials as their own season. God damn it, they're giving us plenty of time. Like my estimate is like we've got at least another good few years.
Before we continue and jump into the recap of this episode, I also want to note that it was announced by THQ Nordic at their showcase over this last week, or in the month of August of 2022, whenever you listen to this episode, that they are going to be releasing another South Park video game, and it is going to be created by THQ Nordic this time instead of Ubisoft. Now, I have my own thoughts on that because I really trust Ubisoft with a lot of games. I know that South Park, obviously the creators might have had their differences when working with them in the past, but in regards to like their open world and RPGs, they've usually shown that they have the credibility to put out a good product. However, I can understand South Park maybe wanting to take a different direction with a different company if you had overall maybe created differences and you wanted to do more things that you felt like Ubisoft wasn't able to provide. That means that I'm just excited we're going to get another South Park game though too. So
I'm super excited about it. Honestly, THQ Nordic isn't a bad studio by any means. They put out some bangers. They're working with Ukes on the what's it called? Fight Forever.
Are they doing the AEW game as well?
Yeah, they're doing the AEW games, so it's them and you.
So it's like
it's them and Ukes, just like yep, exactly.
SmackDown, Here Comes the Pain versus Raw series come back to life.
And then they've done a couple other banger games that I was a fan of, and it was, from what I've heard, it was just when THQ went into bankruptcy and everything, these guys just kind of bought the rights, and then whatever. But so, and if you remember, THQ was supposed to do Stick of Truth anyway, and then they shut down, and Ubisoft picked it up and finished it.
That's a good point. Well, I mean, in regards to some of the games, let's just talk about them. We'll go back. We'll go recently, right? Mm-hmm. So, let's see here. List of THQ Nordic games. Okay, so recently, as of 2021, we've got Arcania: Fall of the Seraph, which came out, was PC. Painkiller was a PC. The Book of Unwritten Tales, apparently that was a Mac game back in 2012. All right, so let's jump all the way forward now to 2022 era. So we've got stuff like Knights of Honor for the Switch, Spellforce Conquest for the PC, Alone in the Dark for PS5, Xbox, and PC, Gothic,
and
Outcast.
I'm really looking forward to that Alone in the Dark remake.
Superpower 3, Recreation, which came out, looks like, for every little freaking system. And then now it actually does have listed on Wikipedia untitled South Park game from South Park Digital Studios as one of the next big games.
And they did the recent SpongeBob remaster, the reboot of Destroy All Humans. And
they made Titan Quest or Ragnarok for PC back in the day. I know.
Yep. And they do the MX versus Darksiders. That was the one I was thinking of.
Big one.
That and MX versus ATV.
Yep, MX versus ATV. Yep. So there you go.
Yeah, so they're a banger studio by all means.
Well, there's your South Park news and information for this week. If we have any news or information, we try to get it out to you, the South Park listener, if you don't like to click on the links, what you see on the internet. That being said, this is South Park Episode 136, 139, Suck My Balls. This is the Ginger Kids. As we mentioned, Joseph Vernola is one of only 3 Joseph Vernolas in the country. He is a minority. And just like in this episode, Eric Cartman is also going to become a minority in some sense of the word here, as that's the, message that's being delivered in this episode in regards to Cartman making fun of a group of individuals and then himself end up becoming one of them. It's a little bit of It's a Wonderful Life mixed with, what's that movie with Chris Rock or whatever, who is, he dies or somebody comes back and then he's a white guy and You know what I'm talking about?
Not Down to Earth.
Down to Earth. I think that's what it is.
Oh, it is. Yeah, you're right. It is Down to Earth.
You know, like this body swapping and all this. You know, the Down to Earth is actually a remake of like a 1950s, 1960s movie.
I didn't know that. No.
I saw the original movie in film and society class back in the 6th grade. And that movie was a football player, like a white guy, and he dies. He's got the love of his life and blah, blah, blah. So it's a little bit sadder in that one. Anyway.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, because you're like, he loses everything, you know what I mean? So, and then he has to try and get it all back and convince the love of his life prior that this is him in his new body. And then he dies again. I know, it sucks. Anyway, spoiler alert, 60-year-old movie. I think that's how he dies, or something like that. Maybe he doesn't die. I don't know. 6 years old. I watched this when I was in 6th grade. That being said, Cartman, gingivitis. Let's get rocking and rolling here. So this episode opens up with Cartman giving a lecture on like a show and tell, his presentation maybe on project on ginger kids. And Mrs. Garrison is going to allow him the opportunity to share with the rest of the class what he has learned in regards to his research today.
My speech is entitled Ginger Kids, Children with Red Hair, Light Skin, and Freckles. We've all seen them on the playground, at the store, walking on the streets. They creep us out and make us feel sick to our stomachs. I'm talking, of course, about ginger kids.
Stupid.
Oh, sick! Gross! Ginger kids are born with a disease which causes very light skin, red hair, and freckles. Ah, nasty! Yuck! This disease is called gingivitis, and it occurs because ginger kids have no souls. What? Kids who have gingivitis cannot be cured. Ah, sick! Gross! Yuck! Because their skin is so light, ginger kids must avoid the sun, not unlike vampires.
Oh.
That's not true, fat ass. I have red hair, and I don't have to avoid the sun. I was getting to that if you'll let me. Some people have red hair, but not light skin and freckles. These people are called daywalkers.
Daywalkers. So now we get some more background on Kyle. Kyle is a daywalker, apparently. Moving on here, Joe. Opening scene here. You know, would you consider yourself a creeped out person of red hair and freckles? Like, did that ever like weird you out as a kid growing up?
Never really did. I don't know if it was because I saw a lot of them in New York, but like my one of my cousins is also Italian Irish, so like so she's got red hair and some freckles and stuff, and like I know there are other redheaded Italians. Shout out to my redheaded Italian girls out there. And like, I mean, one of my bucket list items is a vacation to Ireland. I might have a thing for red hair as well in that Irish accent. Yeah,
Iron. I never had a fear of ginger people. Or
neither did I.
I never really recognized someone who had like ginger hair and freckles to be an abnormality, I guess, growing up as a kid. I thought it was just another like color of hair and how people look.
Same here. And I think that's kind of part of what makes it's part of what makes the whole premise of Cartman doing that hilarious.
Yeah, it definitely is. So moving on from here now, Kyle is a little off-put by the fact that Cartman would talk about not only himself, but about ginger kids in such a way that it could form a prejudice, right? And
yeah.
Like he's basically explaining to Stan, hey, that kind of pisses me off because, that type of conversation will lead to other people persecuting one. And of course, being someone who's very outspoken in regards to Judaism and Jewish people being persecuted, and more importantly, the fact that Cartman reminds him on a daily basis by persecuting him by nagging him, if you will. Kyle says, hey, that's not right. And then eventually, as they're walking toward the lunchroom, they see a kid. Well, actually, I'm jumping ahead here. So Kyle gets mad and he starts kind of having an outburst in class. And Mrs. Garrison says to him, look, if you are so against this, then tomorrow you can present your report on how you feel. So now they jump over to the ginger kids. They go to the ginger kids' houses. And like, there's some, I guess the Foleys is what they said. The Foleys are the local ginger kids in town. So they go there and they meet up with the 3 kids to ask them some questions. And they also end up meeting the parents. And the parents are, of course, a little even mystified by the fact that they had the recessive gene and were able to produce each child 3 times. Such a blessing, such a blessing.
This is one of the best moments in the episode.
Mom, Dad, these boys want to know about us.
What? Huh, hello there, kids.
We came to learn the facts about people with red hair, light skin, and freckles.
Oh, gingers, yes. Our cute little red-haired rascals.
I'm sorry, but I don't understand. You both have dark hair and brown eyes.
Yes, we've learned that the ginger gene is recessive in both our family's DNA. Actually, the odds of us having a red-haired freckled child were only 1 in 4. And still it happened. 3 times!
3 times!
What are the odds?
What are the odds?
A lot of people carry the ginger gene and don't know. If your spouse is also a carrier, then your children can turn out like
Them.
them.
And it's like they're completely oblivious
yes,
to the
each one of them's a
conversation.
Blessing full of love.
Blessing for the love.
Dad.
Such a blessing.
It's not true they have no souls.
No, of course they do.
No, I'm sure they do.
Sure they do.
Well, it was nice meeting you, boys. We've got to get dinner started.
I just had a couple more questions about...
Look, boys, if you really don't want to have ginger kids, marry an Asian woman. Asians don't carry the recessive gene. I know a guy who's marrying a Japanese woman very soon for just that reason.
Stupid.
It's so fucking good, though.
After Kyle gets the information, he goes back to school and he presents his report on why ginger kids are just as normal as regular kids. And I like Mrs. Garrison's reaction. Kind of driving me, Kyle, but kind of sciencey and a little driving me. But there you go. So
Nah, Eric, you have to stop, otherwise I'm gonna hear from his mother.
So let's play that clip, and then subsequently after that, we're going to show you what the prejudice has started at the South Park Elementary, because of Cartman's riling up the class here, as he's going to do on the way out, they all really start to get scared about ginger kids. Cartman's a very manipulative bastard, for sure.
All of our skins. Thank you.
Okay, very nice, Kyle. A little dry and sciencey for my taste, but there you go.
We'll pick up with Clyde's
All right, that's
lesbian
lunch,
stuff.
kids. We'll pick up with Clyde's speech about lesbian cheerleaders after recess.
God damn it, Clyde.
Informative speech, Kyle. Thanks, Butters. Informative if you want to die.
For everyone to die.
Guys, don't forget, Kyle is a daywalker. Daywalkers are half ginger themselves. Make no mistake, ginger kids are evil. Do you know who was ginger? Judas. And what did Judas do? Oh, he just got Jesus killed, that's all. Look, I'm just saying what everyone else already thinks. Gingers are creepy. And one night, when you're all sleeping in your room, the gingers are gonna get you.
Damn,
They're gonna get you!
I want to point out something before we jump into the rest of the scene here. Such a very manipulative line that I didn't even think about people use in today's society, or we use in society. And that is the phrase, I'm just saying what everybody's thinking. That can be such a manipulative way to get other people to think or agree with what you're speaking on. You know what I mean? Because if you go out and you start saying some of your angst and anger in a non-healthy or educational type manner to where it actually helps people and educates them versus riling them up and getting angry and causing violence, if you go out and say stuff like, I'm just saying what everybody's thinking, there's going to be somebody either nearby or maybe even the person you're talking to who was going, I wasn't thinking that, but yeah, actually, yeah, I'll let you think for me. You're right. You know what I mean? So like, it's just a very manipulative term that I didn't even realize I'm just picking up on here, that I don't even know. I think I might have used that in some of my younger years to maybe justify saying harsh things. Right? Like, I'm just saying what everybody's thinking.
And there's another really good mind control and manipulation tactic that Cartman was using here. And he's doing it while they're tired. Like, they're getting ready to go to lunch. They're hungry. They're tired. They need recess. they're more
Moody.
susceptible. Yeah, they're
They're a
more
little moody.
but they're
Kids, you could say that, you're a little moody.
yeah, exactly. But like people in general, when they're tired and hungry and stuff, become more susceptible and more open to suggestion.
That is
It's
true.
Like it's proven, and it's stuff they do in Navy boot camp. I know for a fact. I'm sure they definitely do it in at least a Marine Corps boot camp as well. But it's
Deprivation.
a proven, it's a proven tactic, and it's definitely not on as extreme a scale in this episode as it is in other places, and it may not have even been intentional, but yeah, it's definitely a tactic that is used here, and I thought it may have been used by Cartman here.
All right, so now, as I mentioned, they're going to be in the hallway, and they are going to walk upon Clyde and Tolkien, and which I find interesting that Tolkien joins in this persecution, but I guess he doesn't want to be the one guy that gets left out, right? It's all for one and one for all at this point. So he joins in with the rest of the class as they start to remove the ginger kids.
You buying school lunch today? Nah, my mom packed me a kosher lunch. Right this way. You can't eat in the cafeteria.
Clyde,
How
Tolkien,
come?
Craig, and Jimmy.
Ginger kids eating the hallway.
Jimmy, the handicapped
Go
kid.
on, beat it.
Right?
Craig, who ends up
Retard.
being gay. That's funny. And Clyde,
Yeah, like
Clyde,
three
whose
of them
mom-
would.
And Clyde, whose mom ends up
This is
dying.
what happens when Cartman's
right?
allowed his
Or
right
the
to
Clyde's
freak.
Yeah.
That's just wrong, dude.
Clyde.
I wish Cartman could see what it felt like to be ginger. Hey, that's a great idea. What a great idea. Can you guys meet me over at Cartman's house tonight at around midnight? Sure, for what? We're gonna teach that fat bastard a lesson.
Hold on, was it Clyde?
Yeah.
Clyde's mom? She dies?
Clyde's mom dies because he leaves the seat up.
Right, so not only that, we all remember about Craig's mom's bush, too. So that was...
Yes, yeah.
Okay, I don't know why I started to think that... I always get Craig and Clyde mixed up. They're just because over the course of the series, they even swapped them. Like, it's just very confusing at times.
Yeah, but Craig is the one that is gay.
Yeah, but yes, that's three of the... Right, you got Craig, who's gay, Clyde's mom ends up dying, Jimmy's got a disability, and Tolkien is, of course, African-American kid, so they all have some sort of disability or something's fucked up that's happened in their life.
It'd be something that they would be made fun of for in the schoolyard by kids who have absolutely no chill. Your mom's dead because you left the toilet seat up.
And Tolkien already has been made fun of for being rich, as we saw in the previous episode.
Get out of here, Richie.
Get out of here. Get out of here, Richie. Hey, we don't want no problems, Gator. We don't take kind of you folks around here, you richers. Richie Richards. Yeah, but at least I got rid of all those. Anyway, Mr. Garrison, such a bad guy. So we move on to the next part of the episode here. Following that, as you heard, Stan and Kyle have decided that they're going to dye Cartman's hair. So they do that. We don't need to go in that because it's just pretty quiet. You know, Kyle does hit him, which I think is interesting here. He hits him a couple times repeatedly with the club and his fist. And I just wanted to say, kind of a bitch move. You know, kind of a bitch move to hit him like that. And you wonder why Kyle has it coming from him, from Cartman, on a regular basis. And if you also want to be realistic here, if Kyle wanted to get back at Cartman in a way that was, I don't know, something that was more offensive, he wouldn't have done this, I don't think, because he should have known that this was going to enable him, like in some form or fashion. Like we've seen Cartman in the past when he feels unjustified, that he will feed you people to you. He will feed people to you itself. We've seen him manipulate others into believing that he doesn't do anything wrong. Or, sorry guys, my conscience got the best of me. Cartman only gets 2 weeks because he came forward. You know what I mean?
But I think this could just be the naivety of kids and people in general that like just keep thinking or wishing or hoping that.
I'm not saying it's not a funny joke. It's not some shit. It's some shit we would do. Like, you know, it's definitely some shit my friends would have done to somebody else if they found like, oh, this guy's persecuting a ginger kid. Well, let's fuck with him. Like, let's dye his hair and let's fucking dye his skin, or, you know, we'll Sharpie him, or we'll use whiteout so it doesn't come out right away. And kind of thing.
And it was just, but it's
Whiteout. Can you imagine whiting out somebody's face back? Like, I don't know if anybody remembers that. If they still make it white out, whatever.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, liquid paper, all that.
Oh, well, I mean,
all
I
that
didn't know
crap.
if it was
Yeah,
a name because I know that.
Yeah. No, one brand is white out, another one is liquid paper. I don't want to get sued by Bic for using their trademark. Not that we would, but so yeah, it's I just think it's like they keep hoping that this time is going to be the time that he realizes he's being a fucking asshole, and it's obviously never going to happen.
Never going to happen. So Cartman gets his face painted, and the very next day, of course, he then shows up at the bus stop now, and the boys are like, hey, Cartman, what's going on? After first he goes to the doctor, which we don't need to show that because I think it's just a stupid scene.
The sun is his enemy.
I think it's kind of a dumb scene in my opinion. Not that I'm saying this isn't a good episode. I just feel like it's kind of dumb because if you're a doctor, you would have known just by checking his hair and probably seen roots or just by like checking the rest of him that he's not a ginger. And I get it. It's a cartoon, but like, I'm just saying from a doctor's perspective, it should have,
But we've also, over the 9 years now, have seen time and time again the complete medical incompetence of Dr.
Oh, I understand that. I just wish they had used a different doctor. Like, if she had gone to a skin doctor and that skin doctor had been an idiot, I think it would have landed a little bit harder with me. By going to the regular just doctor, maybe it doesn't land as hard with me because it's like, yeah, we already know this guy is an idiot. So, like, why do you keep going back to this guy then?
Right, maybe. I mean, you're right. This is the guy who clearly thought Butters was a dog.
That's what I'm saying. Why keep going back to this guy? So, like, I would have either liked to have seen a different doctor or just, like, she gone to a different town or something. Go to Denver. I don't know. Go to a skin whatever they call it, dermatologist or something like that.
Like, I would feel that my child waking up with, like, a completely different skin complexion and the change of color in hair, I would I wouldn't be taking that kid to the quick care. I'd be, like you said, driving up to Denver. I'd be like, my child is like, if he's ginger for life, that's cool. But he changed overnight. This is him yesterday. This is him today.
I mean, yes and no. I also would have been like, I think I just probably would have been thinking it's a little sus though too. Like I would have been like, did somebody fuck with you? Like what's going on? Yeah. Like, you know right. What I mean?
Right. Like Leanne knows his kid is a piece of crap at this. We're like, Eric, did you make fun of redheads?
That's what it really came down to at that point. You're right. Did you make fun of redheads? So following that doctor scene now, Cartman arrives at the bus stop, as you mentioned, and he has to use an umbrella because the sun is his enemy. So we'll go ahead and pot up that scene here so you can hear it as Cartman is reintroduced to the boys now as a ginger. And of course, Butters has a good laugh too. I always like when Butters gets the laugh out of others and gets their comeuppings. It's really funny.
What's going on? How's everything with you guys? Wow, Cartman, you look different. Yes, well, it's interesting you should point that out, Kyle. I went to the doctor yesterday, and apparently I suffer from a small skin pigment deficiency. You mean you're a ginger? Actually, gingivitis is the medical term. Is that an umbrella you're using?
That is not the medical term.
The sun's rays are bad for my skin, so I need to be protected when I'm outside. Well, I'm glad we've gotten all that out of the way, and now we can just go on with our lives as normal. Wow, that's a little ironic, isn't it? What do you mean, Kyle? Well, I mean, all last week you were ripping on ginger kids, and now you are one. I don't really see the irony in that, Cam.
Okay, now Cartman gets on the bus here. We'll end after this scene part. Gets on the bus next to Butters.
That's fine, just get it out of the way. Dude, this is going awesome. Maybe he'll actually learn a lesson this time.
He's crying. Butters is so great.
Oh my god, that's hilarious. So yes, following this, then Cartman goes into the lunchroom and he tries to sit and eat with the rest of his friends, but they of course tell him no, like we just made a proclamation the day before saying that no gingers can eat in the lunchroom. They're not allowed to be around us. And Cartman's like, but it's me. I'm still the same person on the inside. They're like, if we let one ginger in, then we have to let them all in. So he gets kicked out. And this is at this point where the trigger goes off and Cartman where the dynamite fuse is set as a monster here is going to be created. The boys think that Cartman is finally getting his comeuppance. They're like, he's finally learning his lesson. We feel great as individuals. We finally made Cartman a better person. But no, alas, that is not what happened at all, Joe. What they did was they created a monster. But nobody wanted to see Cartman no more. Nobody wanted to see Eric no more. They wanted Cartman. He was chopped liver. Slim Shady. Anyway, go ahead, sorry.
No, I was just laughing at the Eminem reference. I like it.
Thank you. So here's Eric Cartman now inside the library during lunch as he's holding a meeting with his brethren and sisters, the Gingivitis Club.
I want to thank everyone for showing up today. I've called this meeting because I don't know about you, but I, for one, am sick and tired of being discriminated against. Just because we have red hair, light skin, and freckles, we're thought of as somehow less important, and it's bullcrap! Yeah.
Yeah.
Kids at school laugh at us, doctors call us genetically inferior. The world needs to know that we are people with feelings, and our parents love us for who we are. My dad says each one of my freckles is a kiss from an angel. Right.
Exactly.
We can't let this go on any longer. We should be proud of who we are. Think of all the great people throughout history who were ginger. People like
Ron Howard. Carrot Top?
Ron Howard?
Right! Ron Howard! And,
Wasn't Marilyn Monroe technically a ginger?
Ron Howard?
Maybe.
Right, we already had him, but right. See? Ginger people go on to
Or
do
was she
amazing
blonde
things
hair?
in society.
I don't know.
We
She
need to
had
let
red hair
everyone in
too
this
at
school
one
know that
She
we are
was a
not
bleach
inferior,
blonde. I
that we
think
are,
she
in
was a
fact,
brunette.
Beautiful,
Okay.
totally awesome, and super smart. It's time for us to take back our pride. Yeah.
Anyway, it's time for them to take back their pride. Before we jump into... Actually, no, I'll play the rest of this.
Red power! 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 We gingers are proud
Better
people.
red than dead,
We are
Joe.
the noble descendants of great Americans like Ron Howard and
Ron Howard
others.
and others.
We will not be discriminated against any longer, for we are a great race. Yeah! Red power! Red power! Red power! I don't believe it. Should we tell him the truth? Nah, let him make a complete ass of himself for a little while longer.
Better
Better red than dead! Better red than dead! Better red than dead!
red than dead.
The bitch isn't ginger.
Yeah, so following that, as you're now alluding to, we get to a point where... Go ahead.
And I was like, almost every time I see someone with freckles, I think of the line, my father says each freckle is a kiss from an angel.
So
It's
here's-
just like every time for 17 years now.
All right, so here's some famous redheads. Susan Sarandon, award-winning, not only for talent, but her sultry looks. Allison Hannigan.
Oh.
Amy Adams, Conan O'Brien, Christina Hendricks, Rita Hayworth, Ellie Kemper, and Ed Sheridan, just to name a few. So there you go.
As well as Carrot Top.
Yeah, if you want to go with some, other ones, you've got like Karen Gillan, Madeline Brewer, Nicole Kidman, Lindsay Lohan, Rose Leslie, Jessica Chastain, Jamie Mays, Florence Welch. So yeah, there's been a lot of famous redheads over the course of history. I don't think at this point anymore, redheads probably would be considered an abnormality. It would probably just be considered somebody who looks normal, unless you're a South Park fan and you know that they have no soul. Kidding, just kidding. That being said, following this, you alluded to the fact that there's a movie premiere with Annie, brand new Annie. For those maybe are younger, in their younger 20s now, being exposed to South Park for the first time, there was a very popular franchise. They got remade over and over and over, I'd say, over the course of about 50 or 60 years. And that was based on a Broadway musical, Annie, about an orphan. And it was made into a couple different movies over and over. Typically speaking, traditionally in the sense, it's been a young Caucasian young lady with red hair and freckles, right? Wasn't there like controversy or something like that a couple years ago when they had somebody else play Annie?
Well, basically they did the African American version of it a few years ago with Jamie Foxx and shit. And so I'm sure you can figure out what crowd got angry with that, even though it was a great fucking adaptation.
But yes,
there's
typically
there's a lot of famous songs from that musical too. Tomorrow is from Annie. The sun will come out.
Oh God. Okay.
Tomorrow. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you know the one.
Just thinking about tomorrow, where the cobwebs something.
Slappity slap slap.
I'm gonna slappity slap your face. Slappity slap slap slap. I'm gonna hate editing this podcast today, ladies and gentlemen. Moving on here, we get it to that Annie premiere.
Tom, I'm standing outside the Denver Center for the Performing Arts, where the new production of Annie has just premiered to cries of outrage. A rapidly growing organization called the Ginger Separatist Movement is furious that the lead role of Annie is being played by a girl who isn't actually red-haired and freckled. Joining me now is the Ginger's head spokesperson, Eric Cartman.
That's right. This is bullcrap. We true gingers are furious that the role of Annie is being minimalized.
What harm do you believe this actress is doing to the true red-haired community?
The bitch is a ginger. She's just using makeup to look ginger, and pretending to be ginger with makeup is the worst thing anybody can do. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Foreshadowing.
There she is. Get her. You're not ginger, bitch.
This is getting pretty ugly, Tom. These gingers are really riled up.
These gingers are really riled up, Joe.
If you would like to join the Ginger Separatist Movement.
Right, I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot about that part. The anchor puts over where that you eat up and become a.
And I just love Cartman's pose in the Ginger Separatist Movement photo. He's like leaning back like it's a gangster rap album, and he's got his arms crossed. He's like trying to look so fucking badass. It's great.
It's very similar to the pose he gives later with the realty. Just his back is bent even more than, you know.
Yeah.
All right. So following that, as you heard, after they beat up the Annie Warbucks girl from the musical Annie, Cartman's group is now going to continue to get big because that anchor, of course, put over how you can join the separatist group. So now the group continues to grow in size. Cartman himself begins, of course, to preach that gingers are, in fact, the chosen race. And he orders the eradication of all non-gingers from this plane of existence, from Earth. We have to get rid of the gingers, Joe. They are the kids. You got to go. So
non-gingers.
I'm sorry. So first here, they're going to be inside of the, what is it? I forget the name of the hotel. The Airport Hilton.
Yes. So where he's had several meetings.
AIDS burger and I'm feeling fine. Anyway.
AIDS burger there. I said it twice.
Fuck you, Jimmy Babbitt. So he has the gingers come to the Airport Hilton for a meeting in regards to taking over the world. And Cartman, of course, saying he's not going to be a freaking minority.
Hey, welcome, everyone. It's so great to see such a wonderful turnout at the first All-Ginger Pride Conference. Now it is my honor to introduce the man who has brought self-respect to gingers, Eric Cartman.
Thanks, Jody. Ginger's how we feel it.
He's like a pastor mixed with the Grand Wizard.
Yep.
Oh, yes.
He knew how to do this.
Doesn't it?
He has his own cult already.
Who you are. Now, I don't think I need
The
to
handicap go to hell?
hate out
Probably.
there. Hate for awesome people like us. And if there's one thing I've learned, it's that the only way to fight hate is with more hate. We are not the freaks of society. Everyone else is. Gingers are the chosen people, the chosen race. And we must view the rest of the world as the low-life, dark-skinned rats that they are.
Hello there, Gary Nelson with Hilton Guest Relations. Just making sure you guys have everything you need.
We're fine, thanks.
Need any buffet items restocked? Everyone okay on coffee?
We're fine.
Great. Oh, hey guys, just wanted to say thanks for choosing the Airport Hilton for your conference.
You're welcome, now leave us alone. My fellow gingers, I envision a world in which there is no hate. A world where everyone is ginger. And so, we must gather together every child who is not ginger and exterminate them. Now go. Go out into the night and take non-ginger kids from their homes. We will eradicate them all with cages and torches and a pit of lava to throw them all in. Now, I am not going to live my life as a goddamn minority. Are you with me? Huzzah!
It kind of reminds. Okay, let's take a couple things from here. You've got a little bit of course, Cartman taking some of what he learned from the Passion in regards to leading a cult and exterminating or removing a set of people because they are the quote chosen race, aka Mel Gibson's cult. You've got Cartman, who was the leader of the church. Do the handicap go to hell? And probably. So Cartman has a history of being able to lead cults, and as such knows how to manipulate others, as we mentioned at the top of this episode. So here, he of course is going to get the ginger kids to now come to he's going to get the ginger kids to recreate the prophesiation he makes at the beginning of the episode about ginger kids coming and getting you in the middle of the night. Cartman was like, they're going to come get you in the middle of the night. And now these ginger kids are going to actually come get all of the students and in town, the kids, in the middle of the night. Or at least fourth graders. At least, that's what we have to go off of. Maybe first graders, second graders, we don't know. It didn't look like there was any fifth or sixth graders in there. So, there's got to be a range of ages. I don't know. Just maybe that's just me.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go ahead here and jump ahead to Kyle and Stan and Kenny and Kyle now running from the Gingers as they were going to go ahead and get up in the middle of the night and go rechange Cartman back to a non-Ginger. So they had the right idea. One more night. If they could have just gotten the very that night and turned Cartman into a regular person, then this next part, of course, might not have happened. But that's not what happened. They never get to Cartman in this regard because the Gingers, they capture the boys. Boys are running.
The hell do they want? Oh, Kenny! Run, Dylan, run!
Clyde now, of course. Worst nightmare.
Huh? Ginger kids! Ah!
Clyde, what is it, honey?
Clyde wakes up. Clyde's parents wake up, not there. Kid opens the mirror. Typical horror scene. Shuts it. Then there's the fucking ginger in the mirror.
No!
This part's stupid. The sister's got the right idea.
What is it? It's that little ginger girl. Shut the door!
Shut the door!
Well, I mean, it's a Nightmare on Elm Street reference.
I get it, but shut the door. This part always fucks with me. I never want someone to capture me while I'm in the shower, Joe.
No, same.
I'm telling you, if you ever get people with me, and I'm in the shower, and I will fucking come in here.
Get this jam
Don't
on the
do
door!
that to me. Shower. A little vulnerable. All right, so they got captured, Joe. And now following this capture, we then go to the final climactic scene of this episode as Cartman is basically explaining to all the kids captured and all the Gingers there at the Ginger Conference that it's time to start throwing people into the pit. But he, of course, says the first one that we need to exterminate is the Daywalker. So they call up Kyle to the stage, and just as Kyle is about to be thrown into the pit, he has a bit of information for Cartman, which we, of course, are going to find out that he reveals to him, dude, we dyed your hair. You're not really a ginger. We dyed your hair and you dyed your freckles. It was a prank. Kind of thing probably is what we have to allude to. And then Cartman now has to manipulate his way out of this situation so that way he does not get thrown into the pit himself for being a non-ginger, right? So here is Cartman calling Kyle to the stage as well as the climax of the episode.
We will start with the Daywalker! Daywalker! Throw him in! Cartman, I need to tell you something! Go on then, say your last words! I think you'd rather hear this in private. Okay, fine, let him speak. Then we kill every non-ginger here!
Cartman now all of a sudden looking out over the sea of gingers.
Come on, let's fulfill the plan! All non-gingers must die!
Yeah!
Throws down his stick.
Right, the plan. Oh my god, you guys, I just realized something. We shouldn't be doing this.
You do
I mean,
this?
look at us. What have we become? Huh? Don't you see? If we go and exterminate everyone who isn't ginger, then we're no better than they were for thinking less of us. Maybe we all have to learn to live together.
But you just said everyone who isn't ginger must die.
Right, but I've learned that we can't judge people based on what they look like.
But you just said they should all die 15 seconds ago.
I know, but I get it now. We've got to live and let live.
What did that kid in the green hat tell you?
Huh?
That kid right there, what did he just tell you?
Who, oh, him? Oh, no, that was about something else. Totally unrelated.
You wanted to kill everyone who wasn't ginger, then that kid in the green hat told you something, and now you don't want to do it all of a sudden. What did he tell you?
What did he tell you?
No, he was just telling me about something funny that happened at school yesterday. But anyway, wow, I can't believe how great it feels to finally love my fellow man, huh? Isn't this great, you guys? We've sure been through a lot, but in the end, we all learned it's best to get along.
Get along.
Hand in hand, we can live together, ginger or not, we're all the same. Black or white, brown or red, we shouldn't kill each other, 'cause it's lame. Come on, guys, hand in hand, we live together.
Ginger or not, it's all the same.
That's it, you got it. Black or white, brown or red, we shouldn't kill each other, 'cause that is lame.
Kyle just astonished. You just see in the background.
Yeah.
You're such a manipulative asshole, Cartman.
Yes, but I'm not going to die. That's why we gotta get along, people. We shouldn't kill each other, 'cause we're all the same. Black or white, brown or red, we shouldn't kill each other, 'cause that is lame. Hand in hand, we can live together. We shouldn't kill each other, 'cause we're all the same. Black or white, brown or red.
Such a crazy song. Anyway, so there you go, guys. That's your full recap there. As you heard, Cartman manipulated his way out of a situation in which he would have perished. He would have been the downtrodden of mankind as we knew it there if his plan had come to fruition. Before we move on here, and I just want to point this out, Joe, are you ready to rock and roll for some trivia today?
Oh, yes, yes.
Mr. Trivia! God. But before, a quick word from our sponsor. Subscribe to Suck My Balls, a South Park review on Spotify, Apples, iTunes, anywhere you want to download a podcast. Just type that in, subscribe to our feed, and you'll get the latest, greatest episode each and every week. You can also listen to us on YouTube and go back and watch some videos or any of our library. It's all there. Suck My Balls, South Park review. All right, and we're back. Joe, go ahead and take it away with some trivia.
Alrighty then. Kyle reveals to Cartman that he is not really a ginger. However, in episode 201, it is revealed that Cartman is in fact a ginger due to his biological father, Jack Tennerman.
Oh, you were going to say Cartman? Yes, that's right. You technically were correct. That's actually what I was going to bring up, too. Okay, 2 points I wanted to bring up, actually. First off, I was going to say Scott Tannerman was ginger, so I was actually going to bring that up. So technically, Cartman would be part ginger. And then, actually, what I was going to say is, hey, Joe, didn't you answer a question about the 3 Gs at your fucking trivia contest? Can you tell us what 3 Gs are that Kyle is?
It's actually the 3 Js.
3 Js.
He's ginger, Jew, and Jersey.
There you go. Ginger, Jew, and Jersey.
So, do you sure you want to do that in front of the J-O-O?
J-O-O.
Kenny is dragged away by one of the ginger kids to an unknown fate, never seen again in the episode. However, this doesn't count as an official death because they may not have killed him. We cannot confirm death, so it does not count as the death of Kenny.
There also maybe, and this could have if we could go back and look, he could have been somewhere in the background in the cages. He could have been let out at some point. We just didn't see it, you know.
You're right. He could have escaped. He could have done some Mysterion bullshit, or they could have just killed him and he was waking back up in the dresser again.
It's interesting that Cartman would be Kenny would be one of the people Cartman would kill, though. That's I don't know.
It's like his best friend.
Yeah, their relationship at BFFs.
Yeah. So When Kyle and Stan are visiting the Ginger family, the father says that the odds of them having a Ginger child is 1 in 4, then asks, what are the odds of having 3 Ginger kids? The odds of exactly 3 Ginger kids, where the odds of having 1 in 4 is 0.25 cubed, or 1 in 64, or 1.5625% chance. So
Jesus.
I started doing the math, and had I known I just needed to multiply 16 by 4 one more time, I was close. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I know I wasn't really that close, but fuck everyone. While Kyle makes his scientific rebuttal of Cartman's hate speech, an accurate synthesis diagram for melanin, the pigment determining skin, eye, and hair color, is shown. Displayed are the biosynthetic pathways for 2 types of melanin, eumelanin and pheomelanin. A higher amount of the reddish pigment pheomelanin in proportion to the darker pigment eumelanin is the cause for lighter skin tone, freckles, which are actually clusters of concentrated melanin, and the distinctive color of red hair, not the lack of a soul that is, as far as modern science can determine.
No soul.
The doctor claims that because gingivitis is recessive, it could possibly surface later in life. However, a gene being recessive has nothing to do with it when it appears. In fact, if being a ginger is recessive, then all gingers must have 2 copies of the ginger gene and no copies of the normal gene. So basically, it means it can't surface later in life. You're either coming out the womb with it or you're not.
Right.
When Cartman is giving his speech to a couple of the gingers in a library, a book called Andy the Taco is seen in the background. A picture of the ice cream crapping taco of Canceled is on the cover of Andy the Taco.
Rest in peace, Choco Taco.
Yes, rest in peace indeed. 2 girls who look similar to Millie Larson appear with ginger and brunette hair. Red and Sally Turner also have red hair, which would make them daywalkers like Kyle, although they were not mentioned in this episode. Gingivitis is a parody of the actual disease gingivitis, which is a disease of the gums. And this is the last episode with the old design of the school cafeteria.
All right, I'll let you read the references to pop culture, and then I'll take the bottom 2 things.
Sounds like a plan. When concluding his first speech, Cartman says, if you think that the ginger problem is not a serious one, he then shows a picture of Carrot Top and Sean Doherty and finishes his sentence saying, think again. The ginger kids appearing at a window is a reference to the adaptation of Salem's Lot. They did a lot of Stephen King references this season. A lot. The term Daywalker is a reference to the character from Marvel Comics known as Blade.
It saved the Marvel Universe. Anyway.
Yes, he did. When Cartman wakes up before realizing he is a ginger, he walks across a hall to the bathroom singing Lucille by Kenny Rogers. Cartman sending the ginger kids to capture all the non-gingers so they can be exterminated is similar to the Penguin's plan of kidnapping and killing all of Gotham City's firstborn in Batman Returns, the best of the Tim Burton, Joel Schumacher, Michael Keaton universe. The nagging hope.
Michael Keaton.
I'm Batman.
I'm Batman.
You want to get nuts? Come on. Let's get nuts.
You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. Michael Keaton.
The nagging hotel clerk at the convention is a reference to the meeting, is a reference to the witches. When the kids go to talk to the parents of some local ginger kids, the father tells them that if they don't want to marry gingers, they should marry an Asian woman. He then says he knows a guy marrying a Japanese woman for that very reason. This is in reference to Trey Parker, who was only at the time engaged to, but later married a Japanese woman.
That's good. He kind of
It is. He made fun of himself. It's great. In the playground, when Cartman leads the Gingers, they shout "Red Power" as a reference to the KKK motto of white power. Hopefully, we didn't just get demonetized for those 3 letters.
Right.
The scene where the little girl is singing a tune while approaching, as we alluded to earlier, is a reference from Nightmare on Elm Street, where Freddy's singing a similar song. The scene in which a kid opens a bathroom cabinet and closes it could be a reference to Shaun of the Dead, when Shaun does the same thing and then finds his roommate is zombified in much the same way. Cartman shouts "Better Red Than Dead," which is a parody of the "Better Dead Than Red" phrase used by Americans in the Cold War.
Right.
And when the Ginger Kids appear in the night, 2 children lock themselves in to escape them. This is a reference to the Michael Jackson video Thriller. I was right calling it a movie too. What the fuck? Where a horde of zombies surround Michael Jackson and his girlfriend. The music video had already been parodied at least once before in the season 1 episode Pink Eye, when Chef shows up with Pink Eye in the Thriller jacket. So fucking great.
So that was your trivia and pop culture. Let's jump into a couple more things. We got continuity and some controversy. So let's start with the continuity. The continuity is this is the first episode to introduce Gordon Stolsky, who would later appear in Miss Teacher Bangs a Boy, Fat Beard, and then gets killed off in Dances with Smurfs. This is Cartman's second formal attempt of genocide, as we kind of mentioned. His first attempt was during the Passion of the Jew, in which he attempted to lead people into exterminating the Jewish people. This episode is another occasion in which Cartman uses a class assignment in order to promote his bigotry and cruelty. Other times were, of course, during the breast cancer show ever, and later on in Mystery of the Urinal Deuce. And, of course, he's also going to use the morning announcements in a similar fashion later on in Dances with Smurfs to, of course, talk about his rhetoric. And the last thing is this bus is now being driven by Jose Venezuela after, of course, Veronica Crabtree's death in Cartman's Incredible Gift. All right, so we kind of talked about it earlier, and I've been joking about it, but I'm going to get a little serious here for a moment. This is some controversy, and I think it's kind of stupid that you would take it this far, not that this group is dumb. Although this episode aired in 2005, it has been cited in connection with a Facebook group titled National Kick a Ginger Day. Are you going to do it? Which surfaced on November 21st, 2008, suggesting abuse towards redheads. The 14-year-old group administrator, Jaewon Kim, said the group, which had over 20,000 members, but it was only satire. The page, which urges members to, quote, get them steel toes ready, had garnered hundreds of messages. Many were people claiming to have already kicked redheads that day. That's fucked up. Others expressed outrage. The outrage felt was parodying in South Park's 200th episode, in which ginger separatist movement reforms, now of course without Cartman, furious at being mocked, abused, and bullied. The Gingers attempt then to steal the Muslim prophet Muhammad in hopes to gain his power of not being ridiculed. Another thing about this, of course, is on January 14, 2010, a video under the title Gingers Do Have Souls was posted on YouTube by a user named Copper Cab on the same day he created his channel. The video, in which Michael Cottrell passionately criticized South Park portrayal of ginger kids and expressed his anger at being discriminated against, quickly became a massive internet sensation, garnering millions of views as well as hundreds of videos responses, both critical and supportive. In response, the South Park staff later itself created their own parody of the video as a commercial for the show's 14th season. Around March 2010, in the commercial, Cartman appeared as a ginger kid, repeating many of Copper Cap's complaints verbatim. Copper Cap responded to that commercial a month later, further expressing his distaste in the satire series as a presumed continued prejudice against other ginger kids asimilar to that fanfare. So, look, what I was going to say is, look, South Park makes fun of everybody, so somebody should have helped that kid at that time to smarten out. Dude, don't go after these guys. Just let it go and it'll die under the rug. But because you lit the fuse on it and continued to come at it, you gave South Park creators fuel for the fire. And you gave them content, which is ultimately what a creator does, creates content. So you gave them ideas to create more content. In regards to like people actually like fucking up ginger kids, that's fucked up. If you actually did that or do that, it's stupid. Like we're just joking here about ginger not having souls. It's just because it's in reference to South Park. But I'm not like actively walking up to a ginger kid or somebody who has red hair and freckles and be like, "Hey, you have no soul. Yeah, sorry, dude. You're going to hell. Actually, you're in hell right now. This is your hell. Maybe you will go to heaven. I don't know." So like, you know, I'm not going to walk up and actively say that because that's fucked up. And I'm not going to walk up and fuck with somebody. But I guess if you're doing that, you're kind of a dick. But otherwise, just, you know, lighten up. It's a joke. South Park makes fun of everybody.
Yeah, lighten the fuck up, Francis.
Anyway, guys, that is your references to pop culture, continuity, trivia, controversy. I was thinking about doing like a what did Kenny say, but he only had one line. And that was early in the episode when they were talking about what we should do to go fuck Cartman up, and Cartman's like, or get back at Cartman, and Kenny says something along the lines of like, what, or what should we do, or really?
Yeah, what should we do? Yeah.
What should we do? So like, it's not a big line. So that's what Kenny said. Anyway, didn't have a lot of lines. What did Kenny say? So there you go. Yeah. So let's talk about what we liked. Joe, what did you like about this episode?
There are some things I liked about. There are a couple great one-liners. There's some other things along those lines. I don't know if I'm as big a fan of it as the rest of the crew is, just because it feels like so much of it was a retread. Like he did this with the Jews last year. He's done it several times. It just, you know, kind of felt like a bit of a retread to me. And so I like it. It's got some great one-liners. It's really funny. Like I said, I still remember my father says, each freckle is a kiss from an eight. And, you know, for those reasons and a couple other things, but like, it just doesn't feel like as strong as an episode to me as it does others.
So for me, this is actually one of my top 25 personally, just because I'm a big Cartman fan and I like the manipulation tactic he uses. So I would contest in regards to a retread. It is a little bit of a retread. I'll give you that. I would say, though, in the Passion of the Jew situation, though, he wasn't necessarily a Jew, or he wasn't the one that was persecuted himself. He was. And
that was the cool twist.
Right. So in that one, he was playing the more of that Hitler role, right? Parodying that one. Whereas in this case, he's more or less parodying the role of, let's say, a pissed off minority in their country. Like, I'd almost want to like compare him to like the president of the Philippines today, right? It's like somebody who's just like, if you're not Philippine, you know what I mean? You're going to be fucking dead kind of thing if you fuck with us kind of thing. So like, I feel like that's kind of what Eric is representing as far as this. Now, to me, some key lines, of course, I think the line "better read than dead" is kind of funny. And I know that a lot of Native American friends I've met over the years, they think that's funny when they hear that "better read than dead." They're like, yeah, he's right. So like, you know what I mean? So like, I think that there's a lot of good comedy in this episode. The intentions of Stan, Kyle, and Kenny are noble here in trying to get back at Cartman, but as I pointed out, they should know Cartman better and know that if they create a monster or if they give Cartman fuel, he's just going to take it and run with it. Like, you
totally
fuck Cartman over in that regard. He's so manipulative, he's going to turn it into his advantage one way or another. In the early seasons, maybe not so much now, being a hot dog and getting breast implants. He's kind of going off the deep rails here in the later seasons. But that being said, in the early seasons here, I feel like Cartman definitely was more manipulative in that regard. I did like the fact that they introduced new characters in this episode, being you get all these different ginger kids that, you know, so I always do like when South Park introduces more aspects of the town that will later become a caveat, as you mentioned there in the trivia in the episode of 200. So when they bring him back, or as I mentioned, I'm sorry, in the continuity. But ladies and gentlemen, yeah, I'd say this is one of my top 25s. I really enjoy this episode. I just like anytime Cartman gets to be a dick. I think it's funny, and then he gets his comeuppance, especially at the end when he's able to manipulate them, the kids, the ginger kids, with this song and get himself out of being killed. Cartman, you're a manipulative bastard. Yes, but I'm not dead. I'm not going to die. So like, I just like how that episode ends. Ladies and gentlemen, that's gonna do it for another edition of Shucking the Balls of South Park creators Matt Stone and Trey Parker. You can follow me on Twitter and on Instagram at Matthew_Schaffer. Each and every week, we aim to please and bring you South Park information, news, clues, reviews, and we hope that we don't leave you with any bruises from laughter or banging your head. I banged my head earlier this week on my temple. Still kind of hurts. Yeah, it's like the worst place to bang your head. It was like with the tripod stick, like the pan stick I had it. I was carrying my tripod and hit my head as I was carrying it. Not even hard, just like a light little boop. Like you would, like a flick, I don't know. And it hurt. And then I couldn't chew for that day. But I digress. Ladies and gentlemen, shout out to our boy, the OG, the Mac Daddy, the S, the C to the double OP. Scoop, there it is. He had a fever this weekend, he told us, so he's not feeling well. So, of course, we definitely hope to see Scoop here next week, and definitely in the next 2 weeks, because Joe will be coming here, but we'll let Joe tell you about that here in just a moment. Of course, you can, check out linktr.ee/SouthParkPod. That's linktr.ee/SouthParkPod. And you can also, of course, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at SuckMyBallsPod and on Facebook at SouthParkPod. You can email us at suckmyballspod@gmail.com. You can also check out Act Fresh Studio. I put stuff up on there from time to time on YouTube, TikTok, and all of the other amazing outlets. And of course, the Mac Daddy, the Trivia God, Dirty J. What's going on?
This Saturday, August 20th, I will be at Colorado Springs for Colorado Springs Wrestling Family Reunion at Sunshine Studios Live. After that, we've got September 10th, Mile High Comics for Revenge. You'll be able to get those tickets on Eventbrite here pretty soon. Saturday, September 17th, Slave to Deathmatch weekend starts with Make My Fucking Day. You can get those tickets right now online, and we will have Slave to Deathmatch tickets following up soon. There's a little bit of a snafu. We will have those tickets up, though, in the next couple of days, hopefully by the time you're hearing this. And then Sunday, August 28th, Prescott Pro Wrestling. I believe it's Bradshaw High School. I'll have to check that again. I don't know the high schools in Prescott that very well, but you can come up there, check me out. The Brian Kendrick is in the main event. JTG of Crime Time will also be in the house, and Lucha Underground star Ricky Mandel will be there as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for another edition of Suck My Balls. And as I mentioned around at the top of the show, if you have not done so, please go check out on Paramount the live South Park 25th anniversary concert.
Yeah, I have to watch that too.
You're going to enjoy it. In fact, in this episode, Joe, they debuted a second verse.
Motherfucking gay bitch. Baby, I'm a gay bitch.
Here's the second verse of Gay Fish.
I really get around. I'm the son of the sea. When I say I have crabs, I mean literally. I was out having dinner and had to go down on that mackerel on the dish. Cause I'm the gayest of the gay fish, gay fish. Gay fish, yo. Motherfucking gay fish. I'm a fish, yo. Baby, I'm a gay fish. It's alright, girl. But I gotta settle down, I can't be a hoe. I can't just sleep with any fish no more. I got me a lover, a brother who's a cross-dressing pike named Trish. And together we are gay fish, gay fish. Fish, yo. Motherfucking gay fish. Fish, yo. Baby, I'm a gay fish.
It's alright, girl.
It's alright, girl. And I'm making love to other gay motherfucking fish.
We'll be back next week, ladies and gentlemen, another edition of Suck My Balls. We out.